dear learners. This is Dr. Ashur Wallet, Faculty, Department of Education, HNB Gadwal Central University. Today we are going to study about data handling in assessment. A teacher deals with bulk of information about their students since their day of admission till their passing out day. This information comes in the forms of facts, observation, test scores, raw scores pertaining to different aspects of a student. What does this information convey to a teacher? This can be well understood with the help of data handling in assessment. Let's begin and check out how data handling can help teacher in assessment.
So dear learners, let's begin and know how to deal with or how to handle the data. After finishing the course, you will understand how the data is categorized. You will come to know about the scales of data collection. You will be able to represent data graphically through bar graph, pie chart, histogram. And you will be able to differentiate between bar graph and histogram. So let's understand the concept of data. Data, the singular is datum, is factual, figurative or statistical information which may be used to draw inferences. Data is collected through observations in the form of statements, which is qualitative, or numerical values, which is quantitative. Now let's understand the categorization of data. The data can be categorized under two heads. First is qualitative, descriptive or categorical, and second is quantitative or numerical. The qualitative data can be nominal or ordinal. Nominal means which is something according to norms. Norms may be like boys and girls, yes or no, right or wrong, etc. While ordinal data is about ranks, like first rank, second rank and third rank. So the data may be collected nominally or ordinally. Now the second category of data is quantitative. The quantitative data, which is numerical, mostly can be discrete or continuous. Now discrete data is integral. It is always an integer. It cannot be in fractions or parts. While continuous data can be in fractions or decimals. For example, discrete data is something that is in numbers. The discrete data is a count which involves integers only and can never be fragmented. For example, members in your family may be 3 or 4 or 5, but they can never be 3.5, 4.5 and so on. Therefore, discrete data is counting whole and indivisible entity, while as continuous data is divisible and can be reduced to more precise scales. For example, height of a plant, which can be 10.5 cm, weight can be 8.5 kg and so on, which is a fraction or a decimal. It needs not to be in whole numbers. Therefore, the data we get may be in the form of norms or in order, or it may be in the form of numerical values, which may be again fragmented or disfragmented. Now next thing that you should know is about scales of data collection. This categorization was given by S.S. Stevens in 1951. Stevens categorized the measurement scales under 4 heads. He said that the data can be collected under nominal scale. Nominal scale is a scale which has label only and which cannot be undertaken for any arithmetic operation. For example, we assign boy as 1 and girl as 2, but there cannot be mathematical operation between 1 and 2. These are just labels. Similarly, it can be for right and wrong. It can be for yes and no, because these are norms only. The another scale Stevens talked about is ordinal scale. In ordinal scale, the data is expressed in order or ranks. For example, a student comes first in class with 98% and teacher assigns him first rank. Another student passes the same examination by 95% and teacher assigns him second rank. And third student, who is third in class, passes the same examination with 90% and the teacher says he is third in class. But this does not ensure equal difference to set as a standard for perfect measurement. That means the difference between first and second rank is not the same as between second rank and third rank. This is the only drawback of this particular scale. The next scale given by S.S. Stevens was interval scale. This is a little bit higher than nominal and ordinal scale. Here, the data is presented in intervals and the difference between two scores is uniform. For example, temperature of a furnace at 45 degree is very similar to the temperature of a day which is 45 degrees Celsius hot. But the only drawback of this scale is that it does not have arbitrary zero. Here in this case, 0 degree does not show absence of temperature. In fact, 0 degree is freezing temperature. 0 degree cannot be taken as absence of temperature. This is the only drawback of interval scale. A bit higher scale is ratio scale. Ratio scale is the highest and most precise scale of measurement, which has arbitrary 0 indicating absence of the trait. For example, 0 kg means no weight. 0 centimeter means absence of height. 0 gravity means no gravity. Now let's study how the data received on previous 4 scales can be graphically represented. The categorical data can be represented through bar graph or pie chart. The categorical data like high, low, good, better, best, yes, no, boys and girls, etc. can be represented through bar graph or through pie chart. How can it be done? Refer this example. In a survey of 150 college going students, it was found that people speaking Hindi are 50, people speaking Tamil are 10, those who were speaking English were 30, and Punjabi speaking students were 60. Now we have to represent this data through bar graph or pie chart. How can it be done? Let's look onto it. This is x-axis of graph and this is y-axis on graph. The data that we have to present can be categorized like this. Now if you look onto this axis, y-axis, you will find that the numbers are located at equal distance. For example, this is 0, this is 30, this is 60 and 90, which are located at the difference of 30 units. That means this particular unit can be divided into 3 equal parts. Then if we check how many Hindi speakers were in the group of 150 students, then it comes out to be 30, 40 and around 50. So this is how we can locate Hindi speaking students. Similarly, those who spoke English were around 30. If you check out the level of this column, it is very parallel to this distance at y-axis, around 30. And similarly, Tamil speaking were around 10 and those who were speaking Punjabi were around 60. So this is how we use bar graph to represent categorical data. Now let's know how to draw a pie chart for the same problem. In this pie chart, when we have to locate angles for each categories, then we will divide the number of that particular category by total number of students, and then we will multiply the result by 360. In this case, when we have to locate Hindi speaking students in this pie chart, then we will divide the students speaking Hindi, that is 50, by total number of students 150, and the result multiplied by 360, which comes out to be 120. So Hindi speaking students will acquire 120 degree in this pie chart. So if you look onto these keys over here, Hindi is shown by red color. So this red part is around 120. Similarly for English, those who were speaking English were 30 students, and to locate the angle of students speaking English in this pie chart, we divide this number by 150, that is total number of students, and then multiply the result by 360, which comes out to be 72. So English is shown by blue color over here, and the blue color, as you can see, is this part, which is around 72 degree. Similarly, we can locate a portion for Tamil speaking students in this pie chart by dividing those who were speaking Tamil, that is 10 out of 150, multiplied by 360, which comes out to be 24. And similarly we can do for Punjabi speaking students also. So this is how we draw bar graph and pie chart for categorical data. Now there is problem for you. You have to do it and you have to learn by yourself. The problem here is that in a survey of 100 randomly selected students, it was found that 25 students played football, 30 played cricket, 40 played badminton, and 5 liked music. Draw a bar graph and a pie chart to represent the data. You have to solve this problem very similarly to the previous example. Now let's discuss about histogram. Histogram is used to show the frequency of numerical data, where the data is in numbers. For example, 30%, 50,000, 3 years, etc. These all are numbers. This can be well understood by the help of an example. Here in this example, the average height of a herbal medicinal plant, that is Lycopodiums, in upper Himalayan region was noted accordingly. In this column here, you can see altitude in meters. This is the height of Himalayan region and this is the height of the plant. So the classified data here in this column shows altitude of Himalayan region in meters, while in this column it shows height of this particular plant, Lycopodium, in centimeter. So within the height of 1200 to 1400 meters, the average height of Lycopodium is 34 centimeter, while between 1400 to 1600 meter, the height of this plant is 32 centimeter, and similarly from 1600 to 1800 meter, the height of this plant is 35, and from 1800 to 2000 meters, the height of this plant was observed to be 30 centimeter. Now we can draw a histogram for this problem. This again is x-axis and this is y-axis. The x-axis shows here equal intervals, while y-axis shows the frequency. Now on x-axis there are class intervals like 1200 to 1400, 14 to 16, 16 to 18, 18 to 2000. And on y-axis there is the height of plants and it is in centimeters. So how will we draw this histogram? We will take this interval 1200 to 1400 and then we will make a column which goes up to 34 centimeter because the height of this plant within the range of 1200 to 1400 meters was around 34 centimeter. Similarly, the height of this plant between 1400 to 1600 was around 32 centimeter, and the height of this plant between 1600 meter to 1800 meter was around 35, and the height of this plant between 1800 to 2000 was around 30 centimeters. Now looking at this graph, lot of information can be observed. For instance, if I ask you at what altitude the height of this plant is maximum, so looking at this graph you can identify that within the range between 1600 to 1800 meters the height of this plant was maximum. Similarly, if I ask you at what altitude of Himalayan region the height of this plant was minimum, looking at this graph you can easily identify the least column, the smallest column. You can see at the extreme right of this graph shows that within the altitude of 1800 meters to 2000 meters the height of this plant was minimum. So this is how you provide a meaning to the raw data. Now is your chance. Draw a histogram for the following distribution. Here on the left hand side you can see marks obtained from 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and so on and so forth. On the right hand side you can see number of students like 5, 12, 8, 25 and so on. So this table explains that students who received marks between 20 to 30 are 5 in numbers. These are actually frequency and these are class intervals. Students, those who received marks between 30 to 40 are 12 in numbers. Students who received marks between 40 to 50 are 8 in numbers, and so on and so forth. So you have to draw a histogram for this problem. So finally, let's discuss about difference between bar graphs and histograms. Although they seem to be very similar to each other in their shape, but there is a lot of difference between bar graph and histogram. Bar graph, as you can see on this left hand side, is used to show the categories, while histograms are always used to show the frequency. Bar graph has always gap between the bars, but there is no gap between the bars in histogram. We use bar graph to compare the categories of data that we have already discussed. If data is on nominal or ordinal scale, we will use bar graphs. For example, if we have categories like good, better, best, most used technology, like you can see in this figure, we will use bar graph only. But if we have frequency or numerical data like in percentage, years, rupees, etc., then we will use histogram. Bar graph is used to compare discrete variables, while histogram is used to show the distribution of continuous data. Bar graphs are used for qualitative data, while histograms are used for quantitative data. Bars in bar graph can be reordered, but in histograms we cannot reorder the bars. The width of the bars in bar graph is always same, but here in histogram the width of the bars or columns can be changed. Finally, in bar graphs, frequencies are represented by the heights of the bars, while in histograms the frequencies are presented by the area covered by bars. So these are the differences between bar graphs and histograms. Thank you for being with me.
So dear learners, today we have studied about data categorization, different scales of data collection, representation of data through bar graph, pie chart and histogram, and finally the difference between bar graph and histogram. And so now we have come to know how raw data can be turned into meaningful information using different techniques of data handling, which further can be used effectively for assessment of student or a class. Thank you so much for watching this video.